Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a while, but I just wanted to touch base with you guys for a little bit, fill you in on what I've been doing the past 6 to 8 weeks, probably like 7 weeks, so a little under 2 months. So I want to say 3 or 4 months ago, I started going to a regular gym, Planet Fitness, and I started doing more exercises and really just broadening what I could do because I had been working out for my house for so long. So then I had to kind of break the habit of what I would do on my daily routine. And at first I tried to almost mimic what I did, but just implement it in the gym. And I quickly realized there's no point in doing that. Like, why go to a gym and pay each month, even though it's not much? Why do that if I'm going to just do the same exact workout from home? So over time, I kind of made my own thing. A lot of people will do leg day, arm day, chest day, blah, blah, blah day, insert name here, day. But for me, usually when I go in there, I'm going in 5 to 7 days a week, every week. Sometimes it's legit 7 because it's not that bad. Like going to a normal gym for 60 to 90 minutes, it's not that bad. And it's just to kind of get me in better shape than what I have been in. I'd say the biggest thing is usually when I walk in, I used to have my own thing. I would do I would focus on two different target demographics, two different areas. But now I do three. So when I first walk in, I hit 4 machines or 5 machines now in a row, and I do light stuff like I'll go 80 pounds, 90 pounds, and 110 pounds because it somehow starts to go every 20 after you hit 90. So it's like 90, 110, 130, 150, 170, stuff like that. So I'm at the point where for the first week I would do 10 reps on 60, then another 10 reps on 60, then another 10 reps on 60. So I was doing 3 sets of 10 on one type of weight, and then I would increase it to 70, increase it to 80 the next week. Then what I decided to do is do like 10 on 60, 10 on 70, 10 on 80. So you're doing increments of 10 every 10. And then every 1 or 2 weeks, I would take those brackets and I would increase them. Well, I guess you're going up. But I'm just picturing like the weights when you pull out something and you're putting it lower, you're actually adding more weight. So it went from 60, 70, 80 to 70, 80, 90, and now it's at 80, 90, 110. And now instead of going 90, 110, 130, I'm like, okay, pump the freaking brakes, keep it at 80, 90, 110, but now instead of doing 10 reps of each, 10, 10, 10, I want to do 15, 15, 15. So it's all about adding increments, and my suggestion will be add one or the other. Don't add both. Like, so a week or two goes by, add more reps or add more weight. Don't do both. I mean, but also it's important to change back and forth between them. 1 week add more weight, the next week add more reps. Because I got into the mistake of adding more weight, then a week later add more weight, then 2 weeks later add more weight, and I did it 3 times in a row without increasing my reps. So that's not really what I'm trying to do, but everything's trial and error for me. When I was younger, I never went to a gym or anything like that. I always played soccer and basketball. So the sports that I did play involved a lot of jogging, a lot of running, and I had higher endurance, especially back then because you're so much lighter and smaller. Yeah, last year I was 246 and I'm 6'3". Obviously, I'm still 6'3". That doesn't really fluctuate, you know what I mean? Maybe when you get way older, you lose an inch or two. But, so my weight went from 246. Now I'm at like, when I weigh in the morning, I'm like 210.4 or 210.6. Usually between 210 and 212. No under there, no over that. But anyway, so that's just the Planet Fitness, and that's been going great for me. So like I said, 3 or 4 months ago, so about 1 to 2 months into that, I started saying, okay, I'm sick of just like dicking around. I'm sick of messing around at my house and just like throwing jabs and shadow boxing and stuff. It's time for me to go into a place and really learn. And that's probably the most humbling thing, especially BJJ class, because that's a whole new world to me. So yeah, when I got into that, I'm not going to lie, the first couple of weeks were kind of hard, and at first, people don't expect anything because you're new, and that's fine. But so it took me a while, and I know it's going to take me a lot longer than just a while. It kind of opened my eyes to it. Like, wow, people put years and years into this to get the recipe right. You know, you can understand the fight IQ all you want because you watch copious amounts of fights, and you're like, oh yeah, it clicks for me. Like, do this when he does that and everything. You get in there and you put your body in there physically, instead, all of a sudden that, oh, I'm so smart, my fight IQ, that's right out the damn window. Right out the damn window, okay? Because when you're having your body physically do those motions, you're not used to it because you haven't done it. Like, sure, your eyes watch it all the time and you can read it and be like, oh, that dude should have slipped that and blah, 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 blah. But forget about it, dude. Everything's new because now you're moving yourself mentally and you're moving yourself physically. And that is so much more taxing than just going to a regular gym. When I go to a regular gym, I quickly realized which of the two gyms was easier, which of the two gyms I felt like just like I could shut my brain off and I could just do it. It's just a physical repetition. That's all it is. When I go in there, I do 4 or 5 machines and, you know, I do a back extension, I do a leg extension, I do pulls, or I do the like pull down ones like this, and then there's the chest press, and there's another one I'm thinking of. I don't know, but it's not a pull down, but it's a pull. Oh, rows. Not ROSE, ROWS, rows. Row, yeah, you get it. Okay, so moving on. So I would come in and I would do those. Then I would move on to isolated weights, just normal like free weights. And I only use a 15-pound weight, one of them for the most part. And I'll do 10 normal curls on the left, 10 normal curls on the right, and then I'll do 10 hammer curls on the left, 10 on the right. So it'll be like 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, all the way until I hit 100 reps. So I do 100 reps, but it's 2 different types of exercise. It's the normal curl, and then it's the hammer curl. I keep it simple, you know, that helps my biceps. Maybe my triceps show a little bit more when I'm going down on the hammer curl, so that helps too. But it's not just for aesthetic, it's for feel, it's for power. But I don't want to build too much muscle, okay? Because I'm still trying to come down in weight. So I'm not going to be there freaking maxing out and lifting heavy ass free weights, you know what I mean? It's just not going to happen right now. What I was told is get down to your ideal weight, like your legit ideal weight, and then you can start packing on more muscle and stuff like that. But it's kind of counterproductive when you're trying to lose fat, but you're putting on so much muscle. Guess what? Muscle tends to weigh more than fat, okay? So how are you really losing? You're not going to even be losing the weight. You're going to be almost balanced still. And that's great to lose the fat and put on the muscle, but that is a different piece of the puzzle for further down the line. So let me just make sure this damn thing doesn't shut off because I'll be talking aimlessly. Thank God it's not. So, okay, so moving on from that. That's just the Planet Fitness ordeal that I've been going through. Now, let's move into M.M.A. training. Now, yeah, it says it's an M.M.A. gym, but when you go in certain days, they just do kickboxing, and then other days they do BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Of course, we slip a little some wrestling drills in here and there, and then I'm sure that they also have days where they do M.M.A. But right now, I'm just focusing on those to try to build my skills. Very basic, start out very basic. Kickboxing seems to click with me a lot easier because that's what I've been doing at my house, just joking around kind of because I didn't have anybody I could train with. So I'm just practicing shadow boxing, kicking, and the thing is, I wasn't typing stuff in online and trying to learn the technical aspects of everything. So now some of the habits that I've built are considered bad habits in MMA. And they might not be considered bad habits in other sports, like leaning forward and to the left with my head, bad look, because I'm a southpaw. So if I go like this, I'm going to eat a right knee straight down the middle. I'm going to eat a freaking head kick, and they're not even going to have to throw it that high. So you really have to start thinking differently. Okay, habits that people build in other martial arts, you know, they could be great habits or good building tools, but then some of them go right out the window because that is the difference. That is the difference between various martial arts. Not everything's going to be the same, or else they would just be called the same. You know, combat would be one thing, not many different, you know, and you can pull from each to create your own custom, hey, this is how I am as a fighter. But at first, it's really important to learn the basics and learn the fundamentals correctly. So, like, even my footwork, how I'm stepping into a jab, they said, oh, you got to change it out this way. Some bad habits, like maybe I hop into a jab and stuff, but that's a tell too. People can read that stuff. So it's just refining things like that, and like I said, working on the basics. Very cool, eye-opening to me, because it's not as simple as just, oh yeah, all they do is go in there and they punch and kick and fight their heart out. No, there's so much more, and I don't expect people who haven't dove into it to understand. I just don't, because when I didn't, before I tried getting into it, I didn't understand, and still there's many things that I don't understand yet, but just seeing those few things pop up in my head and click, I'm like, wow, what a different level of respect I have for fighters, They're not just these punks who go in, who are like getting in trouble all the time. They just do that. Not everybody's like that, you know what I mean? You get all different walks of life, all different types of people, and they all come together for the love of one thing, and one thing alone, martial arts, fighting, whatever you want to call it, okay? So that's the kickboxing. It's been pretty good. And the struggle for me has been BJJ mostly. My first couple weeks I was rolling with some people, and of course, I had no idea. Of course, I'm rolling with a blue belt, I'm rolling with a purple, I'm rolling with a black belt, stuff like that, And of course, they could tell that I was new, so they took it easy on me. But even when some of them took it easy on me, it was eye-opening to me. Like, holy hell, this dude is doing what he wants with me on the ground. I better not ever end up here. But of course, that's why you train it, so that you don't want to feel that way. You want to feel comfortable and well-rounded. This is MMA. This is not boxing. This is not strictly striking. And yeah, if I continue to suck at the ground, then that's horrible. That's my recipe for disaster. Somebody takes me down. If I cannot get back up, that's a wrap. But so that's why you try to learn these things. But it's been very humbling. You know what I mean? One thing I learned: don't wrestle with a wrestler. And you know what I mean? And I've heard a lot of people when they're white belts and they start out, they're very spazzy and they're really trying to, work their way to a finish. And I'm kind of the opposite, to be honest. I'm like, I have cold feet about the whole thing. Like, continuing to go in there and live roll with other people. I'm just like, oh, dude, like the first couple weeks I was doing it and stuff. And then now I start to, maybe my legs are a little messed up, my ankles, my wrists. And I mean, go figure. I thought a lot of it was from kickboxing, but it's probably actually from the fact that in BJJ, you're working on dislocating people's freaking wrists, their limbs, everything like that. And they experience a lot of tears, tears in their muscles, ligaments. There's some word I'm looking for. It's not popping up, so I'm going to move on. But yeah, so BJJ is the thing that I'm struggling with right now. So what I did is I kind of reverted back, like, hey, maybe I should just work on techniques, like isolated techniques first with my instructor, or if there's another instructor who's in that day and he's helping him, then yeah, learn from him. Learn from everybody though. Each one teach one, and that's what I picked up on. Is, dude, you could have another person who's as new as me, and they could show me something that opens my eyes. You never know, because what everybody sees is a little bit different. So if you can listen to somebody who sees something different than you, and instead of being closed-minded, you are open-minded, you know what I mean? You can draw that information from them, and you can utilize it in your own life. I don't really know what else. I wrote 2 pages like I was going to frickin' read it word for word, but I would look moronic if I tried doing that. So I figured, write it down, then maybe some of it's in my mind from writing it down. That's how I am. I'm a visual learner. I'm also whatever it means. When I write it down, it helps me mentally. So I was able to kind of just go off the top with this knowledge in my mind. Let's just see where I'm at. One thing I did write that I would like to say is, keep an open mind, when you go in there to BJJ, probably to anything, to be honest. But for me, the best advice was to keep an open mind and leave my ego at the door, because you are going to get beat, and you're going to get beat over and over again. And, you might not even think that you have like a big ego. Like, I didn't think I did. I consider myself a very humble person, but there was something in there, and it broke, and Fighters break all the time. I don't want to hear that from a lot of them at the highest level. You cannot break me. You will not break me. Okay, everybody can break, bud. And the second you start talking like that, you're going to get caught. You're going to get clipped. You're going to get humbled again. So it's like, learn from it the first time or the first couple times. Jeez, dude. You know what I mean? Everybody breaks. We're all human, okay? But it's about what do you do when you mentally break from that? You know, like I had to go cool off for 15 to 20 minutes. I could not even roll with somebody when I got mad. So I have to learn, hey, I have to control my emotions. And BJJ is one of those things. You have to stay relaxed, open-minded, and then you flow. Like, much like when you hear somebody enters a flow state with their kickboxing or with anything, with their striking, you know, a flow state, that's an ongoing thing in BJJ. It's not you entered the flow state. That is what it is. So you really have to, as soon as you start getting flustered or angry or think, oh, this and that, or you're thinking about anything different, you know, oh, what do I got to do tonight when I get out? Don't. You have to be in that moment. And the second something or someone draws you away from that, you've already lost. Okay? So that's very important too. Some people catch on to one martial art much quicker than another. That's fine. That's to be expected. That's actually kind of normal, okay? And if that's normal, then it means that the one that you're not so good at and it really does a toll on your mind, that's normal too. You need to let yourself know that, because if you don't, you're going to beat yourself up, okay? I saw something 90% or more of white belts quit. Just, I don't want to do it anymore. Nothing. Never showing up again, ever. You know what I mean? And it's hard. And I was afraid that I might be in that 90% category. But for some reason, I keep telling myself, don't do that. You know what I mean? Because when I felt my ego break like that, I wanted to quit. And that's probably where a lot of people hit the exit door, you know? But I reach out and I talk to people, and I talk to other people who go there. And they say, hey, listen, you're not alone. When you feel that way, you're not alone. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. You know what I mean? You just need to stick around long enough for it to click. And, you know, that kind of changed my outlook on the whole thing. Because when I get angry, I don't see. I can't see anything clearly. So I need to keep those negative emotions in check and kind of keep them away so that I can learn. But like I said, yeah, I tend to get cold feet about live rolling with people because I'm such a beginner, and like I have doubts, and I don't know, like, because they're gonna go slower and softer with me. So then I want to do that too, but then but then when I go for something, I don't want to be all spazzy and fidgety, and then have them crank it up a notch and stuff like that. Because at this point, I'm supposed to be learning and getting the basics down. I'm not supposed to be trying to really compete with other people per se. But yeah, just like I said, listen to the genuine people at your gym, and other than the instructors, they will be the ones to help guide you down the right path. You know what I mean? If you're a good judge of character and you see some people roughhousing others, maybe stay clear of that, because if you know that's going to go down bad because you're going to get emotional, you're going to get angry with that person, then maybe just it's best to not roll with them for now. You know, maybe forever, but for now at least, you know what I mean? Until you hit a next plateau, until you catch your second wind. Not like being exhausted in a fight and then going again. I mean, I probably use that term wrong, because that's usually what people mean when they say that. But another important thing is, don't compare yourself to them. Okay, these other people, these blue belts, purple belts, black belts, white stripe. I have 87 million white stripe, and I come from this and that. That's great. Once you start comparing yourself to that, you're going to go down. Your self-esteem is going to crash. If you're somebody who already struggles with some of that on the inside, that's horrible. That is a recipe for disaster for you, okay? Don't compare yourself to them, the other people in your gym. Don't compare yourself to pro fighters that you watch. Don't compare yourself to anything or anybody like that. You compare yourself to yourself. Where was I 2 months ago? Nervous as hell, walking into the door for the first time, feeling intimidating, watching people roll on the ground and roll kind of hard, being like, how the hell am I ever going to do that? You know what I mean? But so that's where I was. Where am I now? You know, even if it was just this much more, it's more. But I noticed quite a difference in 2 months, okay? So you have to believe in yourself. And if I tell myself, so look, I saw the difference in 7 to 8 weeks, imagine what difference I'm going to see in a year, in 5 years, in 10, okay? That's the motivation. That's the focus that's going to get you to keep going. That's about it. I could ramble on all day about this. I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter so people will stick around and watch it a little bit longer. I'm going to touch base with something else in the next video. That's going to probably be on weight cutting. I've never cut weight, but I've come off plenty of freaking drugs in my days and things like that, and I'm sure it feels kind of similar. It's different. It's very different because you're literally depleting your body of water, and that sucks out the nutrients, sucks out everything. But I heard that people feel like they're on the verge of death, and that's something that I've been through quite a few times. So I'm not speaking on it from experience. I'm just going to speak on it from a different thing. You know, how I view it, how some people want to go about it, like, oh, I'm not going to cut weight, I want to fight at my natural weight. But okay, I'll get into it next time because I'll keep going. So just stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll try to make it a little bit shorter. The shorter of a weight and shorter of a video, both. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and live lavishly. Take it easy, guys. Boop.